After a whole year of being stranded on a dangerous and desolate planet, one Buzz Lightyear makes it his mission to save his colleagues at Star Command and get them home. However, when testing a hyperspace jump, Buzz soon finds himself thrown into a horrible future. This is the origin of the iconic Space Ranger, the story behind the toy. This is Lightyear. Lightyear is the latest film from Pixar and is the first Pixar film to release nationwide theatrically since March of 2020. Yes! Yes! Cannot tell you how happy that makes me. If my review for Turning Red is any indication, I am a big fan of Pixar. Their films really shaped my childhood. With Monsters, Inc. being the first film I ever saw in a theater and Toy Story 1 and 2 being the films I played on repeat all the time, I just loved Pixar, and I owe a lot to them. And one of my favorite characters early on in life was Buzz Lightyear. So when Pixar announced they were making a film based off of this character, I was more than excited. This may be a cliche thing to say, but I'll be damned if Lightyear didn't take my expectations to infinity and beyond. Pixar set out to make a sci-fi epic, and they delivered. This has a great story, an amazing cast, and as always with Pixar, phenomenal animation. Now I'm sure many people were drawn a bit back when they heard Tim Allen was not going to be voicing Buzz Lightyear in this film. However, me personally, I have to say I was drawn back in the minute I heard Chris Evans was going to be voicing Buzz Lightyear. Chris Evans makes this performance his own, and he doesn't feel like he's doing a Tim Allen impersonation. Tim Allen's performance is iconic, yes, but he definitely has a more comedic tone to the character of Buzz Lightyear, where Chris Evans delivers a lot on the action hero tone that the film is going for. I'm happy we can live in a world where we have two great performances from two great actors playing one fantastic character. Other standouts of the cast include Keke Palmer, Taika Waititi, and playing probably what is going to be everyone's favorite character from this film, Peter Shawn as Socks. I guarantee if you're a cat person, you are going to love this character. One of the things I love most about Pixar is their animation. Not only is it just always just beautiful and lifelike and colorful and fun, it can vary from film to film just how phenomenal it is. The last Pixar film we got, Turning Red, looked very cartoony, and that's not a bad thing. Don't start thinking that's a bad thing. It's very upbeat and fun and energetic, where this, it's a very realistic looking movie at times. The characters move a lot like actual people. And that's what I've always loved about Pixar, is that they can just go from one animation style to another, all while still being phenomenal, each in their own right. An argument can be made that this film might be a little generic in the story department. Compare that to other films by Pixar. You got the rat who wants to cook, the old man who puts balloons on his house and goes on an adventure, the girl who turns into a red panda whenever she gets too emotional. I can definitely see how it seems more generic when compared to those. However, I can't help but feel that was the point, almost. This film was made and intended to be the exact same film that Andy saw in 1995 when he fell in love with Buzz Lightyear. Pixar sets out to make a film that has all the makings of a 90s sci-fi movie. And I can't help but feel that they succeeded in that job. It can be a bit cheesy, it could be a bit over the top, but it's a sci-fi movie that seems like it came from the 90s, and I really enjoyed that. Honestly, the most unrealistic part about this being a 90s movie is that it is way too diverse for a 90s movie. Way too diverse. And keep this in mind with the story too. It's still a Pixar film, and Pixar films know how to tug at the heartstrings. Maybe not since Up has a Pixar film hit me with the feels as fast as this film did. And the film's message, although it may be a bit cheesy, really goes back to the 90s feel of the film. And I really enjoyed that. I guess if I wanted to get nitpicky, there is one character I thought could have been a little bit better. Now, I won't talk about his character in depth because he's not in the trailers too much and there are big plot points with him, but I think Zurg could have been a little bit better. He's definitely cool and menacing, exactly what I want Zurg to be, but I just wished his story was just a little different. But to be fair, they didn't have much to work with Zurg, because Zurg's whole character is just intended to be a play-off of Darth Vader. As someone who's been patiently waiting to see a Pixar film back in his hometown theater since March of 2020, I'm glad it was this film. I just hope Disney isn't only releasing the films that are tied to an already existing franchise to theaters, because, yeah, I wouldn't like that. Don't do that, please. As for Lightyear, it's everything I wanted. A fun sci-fi movie with a great cast, with great characters, beautiful animation. Just a great time at the theater, in my opinion. Before we leave, I guess I will do a little show and tell. This is my Buzz Lightyear toy from when I was a little kid, and he doesn't work anymore, but he's still in pretty decent shape for 20 years, I have to say. I even have my name written on his foot, like Andy does in the movie. I was kind of a nerd when I was a kid. I still am. Look at me. And also I have this, which I got from a Disney on Ice thing. One of those Disney on Ice performances, you know those? It makes the most ear-piercing laser sound. I'm surprised this still works. This is also like 20-something years old. I also have a photo of me in a Buzz Lightyear costume and a photo of me with a Buzz Lightyear statue. So really, it was only destiny I liked this movie. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and if you did, please consider hitting that like button, and be sure to subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when my next review drops. Until next time, I'm Quentin Dunaway, hoping you will keep it cinematic.